Here we go again, COP. I always reminded of Einstein's comment that insanity, or his definition of insanity, is doing the same thing indefinitely, always with the expectation that the outcomes are going to be different. And COP, the series of conferences, has coincided with the most grisly escalation of greenhouse gases emissions around the world.
And I've been really conflicted about going, actually. But I think it's fair to say that since the Paris Agreement, whilst greenhouse gases have been going up, progress has also been made.
Oh, no question.
We are not heading for 6 degrees. We were heading for 16% emissions increase in 2 years ago, and now we're heading for 9. So
it's still ghastly. But
it's ghastly, but things are moving.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues is that we expect the COP to be a make or break place when in reality, a negotiation with 192, not even people, but 192 states that all have a veto, that has to be unanimous.
And that's a horror, clearly, in political terms. But for me, it is make or break, because this is the first time where the global fossil fuels industry has basically said, let us take this on, let us host it in the UAE. And if this does not bring the fossil fuels industry to the point where they're signing up to, in effect, a phase out of fossil fuels, then I think this will have been a failure, and I really will be extremely skeptical about future COPs.
James Cameron, our friend, who says it's an experiment in global lawmaking,
yes.
But he still has faith, and absolutely we need the phasing down of fossil fuels, and the fact that it's hosted in UAE, which has attracted a lot of interesting attention. But maybe that will make the pressure more severe.
I think it will. It already is.
On the oil states, right? They want to prove that they can lead this. There's a region that, can and should lead us out of this mess. Not because they're solely to blame, because quite frankly, Europe and America have much more culpability than most countries.
That's true. And I think one of the reasons why I'm pleased to be going is that, again, we've been invited by client organizations. I mean, Neste in Finland, it's extraordinary to me that we're now part of the Finnish national delegation, and we're in the blue zone for the first time. So I'm intrigued to see how that plays through. But at the same time, you look at Neste, and there's an oil company originally in transition into something quite different. And so the question is, can the UAE, for example, go a similar track?
It's really important that corporates are now there. I think both to put some pressure on government, but also because business has such a huge role to play. And this is, if nothing else, it's a time where lots of companies are coming together from all over the globe. And there is this opportunity for really radical collaboration, but also for listening to people who you never speak to otherwise. I talked to somebody who said that, the Republican delegation in Sharm el-Sheikh was a really interesting conversation.
I'm looking forward to that, just the serendipity factor where you're in transit between one thing and another, and you bump into somebody either and desirably people you never met before, and beautiful relationships and conversations come out of that.
Yes, as you say, this COP28.
Business is there and really...
business is there, and it is crucial. The stocktake is crucial. We have to see some of the phasing down. We have to see some, I'm going to say, repayments to the global south. Some of those things happen. And we have to have conversations that will drive more investment in the climate tech.
Yeah. Part of the reason I'm looking forward to being there is, Rishi Sunak, as Prime Minister of Britain, has so screwed up our international reputation by some of his stepping back from some of the earlier commitments. In our quiet way, we'll be part of diplomacy, just trying to say Britain is still there. We're still a key part of the leadership pack. But we've just taken a little bit of a detour recently, and we've got to come back from that.